They should.
All right.
They should totally
I'm
see
being so
that.
silly. My daughter graduated the 3rd grade today, everybody, in
Oh,
Tennessee.
my granddaughter
Yeah.
graduated the beginnings of a 3-year-old preschool today.
That is huge.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Daisy, that was
Yeah.
Ida. When Ida went to her little Waldorf preschool, they called that the Daisy class.
Yeah,
and
today was
her
the day.
best friends are still her best friends from the Daisy class. So that's a
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And we both missed it.
I know. I do not get Mother of the Year award, but we sent her a really fun video from backstage, all of us congratulating her, and her dad is with her, and our chosen aunties and uncles and friends and siblings and everything. So
Yeah.
she's having a blast.
Hey, I want to talk to you about your chosen aunties and uncles, because you did a brave thing. You had this invitation to participate in this creative endeavor with some other strong women, and opened the floodgates, as you said, to your creativity, and broke that bit of writer's block you were going through. But when you chose to make this music, you found a community that included British singer Yola and McCrary sisters and others who
Ruth
helped.
Moody sang on this record, Erin Ray, and my current incredible circle of goddesses. There's 15 of us made my latest record, which is coming out in September.
Yeah.
And we did it. It was accidentally super witchy, where the label said, "Vinyl's taking a really long time. Can you push up the recording date? Can you deliver it two or 3 months earlier than we had originally asked you to?" And we thought, okay, this was at the end of last year, and everyone had exactly 6 days at the end of December, which happened to be the winter solstice.
Oh.
And so we gathered 15 of us, women from the ages of 22 to 62, and we made this new album called The Returner together, and it was so joyful. And with our 3 chosen brothers, my partner JT Nero, his brother Drew, they have a new production company together called Dimstar, and a wonderful engineer named Brandon Bell. So they were the initiated brothers into the witch circle.
Oh man.
Good witch circle.
Yeah. It takes it's a powerful opportunity, and I'm sure it's going to be great. I look forward to hearing that. But let's also not forget just your amazing band that sounds so good.
I know they were all part
These
of it.
ladies
So
were
Alana
so great.
Canlas,
Yeah.
Elizabeth
Joy.
Pupil
Yeah,
Walker,
Elizabeth.
Joy Clark, all of the artists that I work with, Mandy Fair from Sway Wild, Meg McCormick, Wendy Melvoin, and Lisa Coleman, y'all, from Prince's Revolution, played with us on this new record as well.
Yeah.
Ganessa James normally plays bass with us but wasn't able to be here today. We just have an incredible collective of women, and all of them are artists, writers, producers, multi-instrumentalists in their own right. They're moonlighting with me. I'm so lucky that they're willing to do this with me.
That's cool. Let's drop a few more names while we're at it.
Okay. I love dropping names.
You did get
amazing women.
to sing a song with Norah Jones at Willie Nelson's
Yes,
90th
I
birthday party at the
did.
Hollywood Bowl.
I did get to do
Not
that.
many people get to do that. You got to do that.
I have had the biggest crush on her for like 20 years. And we had not met until soundcheck at Willie's 90th birthday, the second night at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
So I missed like Snoop Dogg and George Strait being hotboxed in a dressing room together, which I'm really bummed about. But Margot
That's a
Price
choice,
has video
yeah.
evidence of it, so we all get to enjoy it from the interworld webs. But we got to do this song together, Seven Spanish Angels, which is one of Willie's favorite songs that he and Ray Charles became friends over. They were actually, each of their teams was trying to get that song, and they decided, let's just sing it together.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a duet, and nobody at that time thought to put Ray Charles and Willie Nelson together.
Yeah.
But they loved each other, of course, and were kindred spirits, kindred geniuses, and did this beautiful, beautiful rendition of Seven Spanish Angels. So Nora was playing the role of Ray Charles, and I was playing the role of Willie Nelson, and we had to sound check it in front of Willie Nelson, which was really nerve-wracking, but he was like, sounds great, girls, from his little golf cart. He was speeding around the
Did you get
the
super
Hollywood
high
Bowl.
before the show?
You know what?
Yeah.
I am the lame person at the Willie Fest who cannot do THC or marijuana. I get so paranoid. I would be trembling under the piano, convinced that like the FBI or somebody was coming to revoke my green card and send me packing back to Canada or whatever. I just can't do it, but I think everyone probably had a contact alteration. Yeah.
Well, another name that deserves dropping, I think, is Brandi Carlile.
Is there Bramley here tonight? So for those of you who don't know Bramley, we are a chosen family, and Brandi Carlile is our heart. And it's, she has been making music mean even more for so long. Yeah. She and her incredible wife, Catherine Shepard, they don't just run an amazing business where they, all the tide that rises all the ships and all the artists like me that they pull along in their wake, their magical wake, but they also run the Looking Out Foundation, which amplifies the efforts of so many different nonprofit organizations that are really working on harm reduction across the board in our communities, whether it is LGBTQ+ equal rights, whether it is fighting for sensible gun legislation in America. And I am wearing my red shirt for Mom's Demand tonight because it has touched my community very deeply. And it's time for a change, and I think everyone on all sides of all aisles can agree that it's time for a change, and it's just figuring out how we come to that agreement of what that can look like.
Yeah, you're a mother who lives in Nashville,
Yes.
and you experienced that tragic shooting in a school, which is just the worst possible.
And it's, we're 240 plus mass shootings into our year, this year alone. Yeah. So we all know that it's something we have to face, and that we can honor our founding documents and still have well-regulated approach to gun control in this country, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I believe that very strongly, and so does Brandi. And in fact, a song which we'll play a bit later for you, Brandi and I re-recorded a song that I had originally written for our Native daughters called You're Not Alone. Brandi and I re-recorded it, and Looking Out Foundation is helping amplify all the donations. Any sales off Bandcamp, they match those donations, and we've been supporting Mom's Demand, Everytown for gun safety, and also the fight for reproductive rights, which of course are human rights and basic health rights in our country. So we've been working on those things together, and I'm so grateful to Brandi Carlile and her wife Catherine and the Looking Out Foundation for just leading the way fearlessly every time and with so much love.
Yeah. It's amazing how many places you can find to be passionate and to be an advocate and a spokesperson for. I got an email from a friend today, and their little signature said something like, "Every day I am torn between saving the world and savoring the world." And I just wonder how you're doing
both.
with the latter. Are you doing enough savoring? Are you doing enough?
I think
Are
when you
letting
savor the world, you want to save it too, right? And we save each other, like we are the world.
Yeah.
We are the world,
Yeah.
actually. And the world, I think about this a lot. I think about the precipice that we're on as a species. I often think about that. When you look at the dinosaurs, I remember when my little girl realized that the dinosaurs were extinct and the devastation, because she really thought like she would get to meet a pteranodon one day. She loved Dinosaur Train. She's still obsessed with the Mesozoic. I think every child goes through an obsession with dinosaurs. And I'm Canadian, her father is American. We've spent a lot of time in Canada. We have this incredible dinosaur museum near Drumheller, Alberta, called the Royal Tyrrell Museum. So she thought that they were still among us. And when she processed the mass extinction that took out the dinosaurs, it was real grief, that we went through. And I think about that with our humanity. When you look, the dinosaurs walked this earth for so much longer than we have existed. Yet they're gone, right? And we are pushing ourselves. We are these precocious, brilliant, but emotionally very immature, I think, of a species, if you just look at us as a whole. We're just kind of coming into some emotional maturity now, maybe.
We're figuring it out.
I think we're
maybe a little late. Maybe a little late.
If you look at our species as our one human species family, and I talk about this when people talk about different races, which is of course a fallacy. We have one human race, and it's really easy to get confused because that's been common parlance for so long, but it muddles our thinking a little bit, I think. And when you replace the word race with species, it becomes very clear, right? There's no such thing as the white species or the black species or the Asian species or the indigenous species. It's the human species, right? Homo sapiens, that's us. Yeah. And I think about us as we're in our adolescence, and it's a really scary, precarious time to be in one's adolescence. A lot of people don't survive their adolescence,
Yeah.
right? Because
It's a tough
they
time.
can't imagine it getting better. We're in an epidemic of that right now. But it does get better, by the way. Anyone listening that needs to hear that, if I can survive and thrive, you can too. Hang in there. You're gonna find your people who will love you just exactly as you are. Not all of us, we're lucky to be born to families that accept us as we are, or adopted by, or fostered by, or stolen by families that accept us. But you find your family, your chosen family. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
And I think that as a species, we're on that precipice. Are we going to keep doing the self-destructive behaviors that make the planet uninhabitable for us and for a lot of other species that we take with us? The planet will go on, just as it went on after the dinosaurs, right? But I would like for us to have a future on this planet.
Yeah, especially
and for
when
our many generations to
children
come
and their children,
to have a future on this planet. And I know we can do that together. And I know you'll have been doing that work so much in who you choose to amplify on this show. And I really appreciate that.
Thanks, Allison. I appreciate that. And just to give your daughter a little inspiration, I was walking by a bookstore in Bentonville this morning, and I saw a sign in the window that said, "Fun fact, dinosaurs didn't read. Now they're extinct." So just
That is brilliant.
You can bear that in mind.
Yes, I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna frame it on the wall. And oh my goodness, let's give a shout out to all the teachers and the librarians,
No kidding.
and the people preserving knowledge, sacred knowledge in our cultures.
and with a sense of humor.
Yes.
Yeah. Listen, I think it just it doesn't even. It's hard to even acknowledge what you've been through, what you've risen above, and what you've turned it into. And we're just proud of you. We're inspired by your work, and wish you the best. And I know you are an example for lots of people who have struggled. Reading a little more in depth about the kinds of things you went through, and sleeping in the cemetery in the middle of Montreal, and staying up in those all-night cafes and playing chess till the sun came
chess.
up, because you
I'm a super nerd.
didn't want to go home. Yeah,
And I did not want to go home. This is
that's
true.
that's a childhood no one wishes on anyone. So congratulations, really, not only on surviving, but on channeling it and turning it into some powerful songs. So we're gonna hear some more.
Thank you, Nick.
Welcome back, if you would, along with your band, Allison Russell.